Are we entering the Asian century? Yes. The 21st century belongs to Asia, unless India chooses to cut its own nose to spite its own face. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Global South Views. I am Richard Nia. Today, we have a fascinating topic to delve into. The title of today's video is The 21st Century Belongs to Asia, Unless India Chooses to Cut Its Own Nose to Spite Its Own Face. Sounds intriguing, right? Let's jump right in. India has a pivotal role in Asia. India, the world's largest democracy and most populous country, stands at a crossroads. It has all the potential ingredients, economic, demographic, and strategic, to be a powerhouse that could help cement the 21st century as the Asian century. But what if India, despite its enormous potential, ends up taking steps that work against its long-term interests? That is, what if India unwittingly cuts its own nose to spite its own face? Let's talk about some of India's recent controversial decisions that raise eyebrows. Firstly, India rejected China's BRI, the Belt and Road initiatives. While there are legitimate concerns about sovereignty and alleged debt traps, opting out means missing an opportunity for economic growth and regional integration. India is not unaware that almost all other countries in this region, and the vast majority of countries in the world, are already on board the BRI train. Next, India downplayed the SCO, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, by hosting this year's summit virtually, instead of in person. This move can be seen as a signal that India is not fully committed to regional dialogues where China and Pakistan are active players. Meanwhile, the Indian Prime Minister made an official visit to the US and signed several agreements, including one that allows US warships to use certain Indian ports. While it's good to have diverse partnerships, cozying up to the US just before hosting the virtual SCO summit risks alienating regional partners and could be seen as compromising India's non-aligned status. And let us not forget BRICS. India recently objected to the expansion of this bloc, which is puzzling given that the primary aim of BRICS is to be an inclusive alternative to Western-dominated institutions. Despite India's claim to represent the voice of the Global South, countries of the Global South are beginning to view India as the most serious stumbling block to the realization of a more equitable new multipolar world order led by Asia, where inclusiveness, dialogue, and cooperation is the norm. There were even rumblings that, should India persist in its current trajectory and no longer subscribe to the aims and aspirations of the majority of Global South countries, India should leave the SCO and BRICS. As is, India already is not a member of the world's largest trading bloc known as RCEP, which comprises the ASEAN 10, plus the 5 regional countries of China, Japan, South Korea, Australia, and New Zealand. So, the big question is, are these decisions by India a form of strategic depth, or is India cutting its own nose to spite its own face? If India moves away from regional cooperation and inclusivity, it not only risks its future but also jeopardizes the broader idea of an Asian century. And who is to blame if the Asian century is not fully realized? Well, that wraps it up for today. Do you think India is making the right moves or potentially harming its future and Asia's? Please leave your comments below, and remember to subscribe to Global South Views for more insightful discussions. Here is Richard Nia wishing you goodbye and hoping to meet you at our next video.